What else? Baru. Kau tu yang paling nolak. Kalau kau orang mana? Kau orang yang mana ni? Paling ni kau orang mana? So itu apa yang nolak? Okay.
Ko muna momen ka bonan banke buso be bulu ko do fare ko de ka ko do
ba salun jata ay ko do kinya nan nato ko do kamaja je sa maja tin na fo en ko di furi hey nga ko do bala kana falina
ba yin ko do
ko do damale be akoy damale be je ni may sama no ngatu je atata falina
Assalamu alaikum. Baru. Kota. Nyenyi ko do ta janda. Yo ni bari ko do mambe da. Nyanta ko di kendo ren dila. Ni ko do mambe da jibe, ko do fangu jibe, jol jibe be faram.
Fayla.
Ni jibe ya je. Mambe da. Iba falin nale. Central Bank ye memfo. Inal toliye yal safe ye memfali al yalon. Iko clean note policy kodi kendo al kalmol jowala nin kodi furi ngo kodi fundu al kamol sigal ka di mol amam betea ibe nyi mudalal e kodi kendo di ni wote memba kunna tolete ala bita central bank andu memba kunna tol e kana von doleta de bole so janno bebe tar raje kodo mudaya
munena tawolantale yalon ko e nyanta kodi kendo di la
ñina mu siloti men ñanta kake alkali al luwaye men fo alkali barawona ko di kendo alkali waldi mol alyama
Agada.
Mbijan aganya.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Important. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Mbare.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Birim koyna fo katon.
Bari si kodo kino katon nim fo bolong blabe ko.
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 ti nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Golam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma nin domorol ni fana beteata. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat ha.
Apelenta
baraka. Ni ma lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Baraka.
Him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
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 What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
And welcome to the brunch on Kerr Fatou Live. I am Lamin Cham and this is your weekly look at current affairs in the Gambia. Of course, over the last couple of days. So it is a weekly current affairs program. This week, with the onset of the first rains in the Gambia, marking the beginning of rainy season, I drag in the studio the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Demba Sabally, whom I will take the next 1 hour to discuss the state of Gambia's agriculture, particularly, of course, in relation to the just started new farming season. We will discuss areas such as government interventions in agriculture since he assumed office in May last year, and of course the implementation state of the various projects that have been embarked by the Gambia government, all towards developing the agriculture sector. We will of course discuss politics because the Honorable Sabally is also the the Deputy National President of the governing National People's Party, NPP. First though, Honorable Sabally, you are welcome to the brunch, your very first time.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Cham. Thank you for having me. And I'm saying a very, very good afternoon to our viewers and a very good afternoon to my farmers and a very good afternoon to my NPP family and His Excellency, the Secretary General and our party leader, the President of the Republic.
Good. We are very privileged to have you, Honorable, for, to leave all your, busy schedule and consider the program as a national duty to come and talk to the Gambian farmers. We are very privileged and we commend you for that.
Thank you.
Good. First though, as customary, let's start by trying to know a little bit about you since it's your first time. Where is Demba Sabally from?
Thank you very much, Mr. Cham. Like you said, my name is Demba Sabally. Born, raised in Bondali, that is the Foni Bondali, that is in the West Coast. And that's where I did my basic school. And then went to St. Edward Secondary in Buyam, then to Muslim High School, and then to the Gambia College School of Nursing. This was, we finished around 95.
All right.
And briefly worked for a year or two at Mansakonko, and then left for the United States.
Okay. Any famous classmates of yours?
Oh yes. My best friend actually is Musa Sanyang. He is now an ophthalmic specialist. He's in London, Mayfair Hospital.
All right.
Of course, I have Fabakari Kinte from Badibu.
Oh yes, I remember.
Bajis from Buyam.
Okay.
Quite a few. And Hamed Manjang in Gunjur was the head boy around that end of that year. But yeah, we were in different shifts. But yes.
Good. So when you returned from United Kingdom, what?
US.
US rather. Which year was that?
2009.
Ah, 2009. Okay, that is a lot, about a good 6-7 years before the big revolution, as I would call it.
Yes.
You were known to have been a member of the Gambia Democratic Congress.
Yes.
That was your first. That's where your political journey started.
Yes.
Take us a little bit through. Since when did you become? You were a founding member, oh?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Cham. Yes. Sometime early 2016, I was actually approached by a group of businessmen in Banjul and talked about forming a party and going against former President Yahya Jammeh.
Even they wanted you yourself to lead such a party?
Yes. Okay. This was discussed briefly, but then we realized that, the same group also were talking to Mama Kande, and then they advised that, I think in fact he is advanced in his preparatory stage of registering the party. Forms have been distributed nationwide to collect voter signatures and all that. Then, I said, look, our goal is to have a change of government. And if we have somebody who has gone that far, I mean, why don't we explore that? Because there was not even talk of a coalition at that time. Yes, so
because the GDC came well before the coalition.
Right. And then I, through a third party, went to Baobab and met Mama Kande, and we discussed. And then I decided to actually scrap all my plans.
Any individual plan?
Yes, individual plan, because my goal is not to be president. My goal is just
to take part in the process of change.
Yes, take part in the process of change. And this is how I joined the process, and we went out in 2016.
Yeah, you made a big impact. Your party was extremely popular.
Yes, we did. Actually, the 80,000 votes that EDC had were votes that naturally probably
would have been for Jammeh.
Okay. So I think those 80,000 votes made a real difference in defeating
Jammeh. Yeah, because eventually between him and Barrow was just 20,000 votes.
Yes.
About 18,000.
Right. So I think since that made a difference in the defeat of the former government, I am glad that the end justified the means. What we needed was a change of government, and we got that, whether we were in the coalition or we were in GDC. But the goal was to get a change of government, and we got that, and that's why it wasn't a tough decision after government change that we should come together and work for the country.
I know eventually you left the GDC, but let's go a little bit to the time of that. You know, the victory followed an impasse. The GDC was particularly commended for not taking sides with Jammeh when he wanted a collaborator to dispute the election results. We were told that the GDC, refused whatever how to call it, plan he was making to get a collaborator. Can you tell us what exactly happened? Did Jammeh contact the GDC leadership to support him also at the time?
Honestly, Mr. Cham, I would really prefer not to even talk about GDC, because already we've moved on with life. I no longer speak
at the time you were
on their behalf, and whatever I did or said or information that I was privy to when I was there, I don't think
naturally say that.
Discussing that here will be a little bit unprofessional and ethical for me, because life has gone. We've moved on to a different stage, and if whatever decision GDC took at that time, I think it will be best discussed by those who are there today to speak on and for that party. I am happiest discussing about what NPP now and forward.
Fantastic. I'm impressed with that. So let's move on. Ryder, how did you get to abandon GDC, so to speak? Or is it GDC that abandoned you to become NPP now, to be a strong member of, influential member of NPP? How did you do the transition?
Well, I don't consider myself influential member. I'm a
second national party president.
Yes. Well, actually, there were a few things that, and I've said this before, that are very important to me in every political field or party. And most of those, almost all, I observed them in His Excellency President Adama Barrow.
Okay.
And that was his strong belief in democracy, his strong belief in giving people their fundamental rights. The media freedom, he expanded the space, and also all the works that were ongoing. They were kind of impressive. And looking at that space, I started to pay attention to, okay, who is this President Barrow?
Okay.
Then came the Constitution.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I was not impressed with the draft and so many other issues that were there. Then came the Nyabina by-election and the joining of so-called support from UDP.
Okay.
Naturally, I am an ardent opponent of UDP.
Okay, from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
And that I've made clear even before they started to support, or they
started to sympathize
with
GDC in that by-election.
Yes. And I think I made my point very clear there that I will not be part of anything that will be associated with UDP because I don't succumb. I don't believe in their view of the future of this country.
Okay.
Since I don't believe in their view of the future of this country, I will not be associated with them. And it was almost like a decision that we associate with them during the by-election. And after that, the relationship, like I don't need to say it, it probably was getting a forward look. And I wouldn't be a part of that.
So are you suggesting that, I mean, one of the reasons you left the GDC had to do with the fact that you see them having a rapprochement with the UDP?
Yeah, like you rightly said, one of the reasons. Yes, it is one of the reasons. But of course, also...
The reason is you are impressed with Barrow.
Yes, of course, I was impressed with all the works that Barrow was doing, and also the environment that President Barrow has created was very attractive for anybody who was genuine Gambian.
It wasn't a personal ambition of yours to join the ruling party because of all the trappings of power.
No.
Which we can argue you have now gotten to being a cabinet minister.
Right. Well, when I joined, there was no thinking of me being a cabinet minister. There was no talk of that. Okay. In fact, it's not something that I was looking forward to or expecting. I just wanted to be sure that I will support President Barrow so that UDP don't win the election.
And that happened?
Yes. And that was my goal and remain my goal even for 2026. Okay. Make sure support President Barrow that UDP don't become a goal, because I don't believe in their view of the Gambia.
Okay.
Yes, the Gambia that I see and the Gambia I believe, the Gambia I want to see now and 50 years ahead is different from what I perceive to be the view of UDP. And since that is what is my belief, I will defend that belief by supporting President Barrow to make sure UDP don't win the election.
Good. We will continue the politics towards the end of the program. Now let's go into agriculture sector now. The first rains have started. I mean, the biggest issue that has occupied perhaps your mind in the office and the Gambian farmers, of course, was the issue of fertilizer.
Yes.
The means of production, you know, and of course issues connecting with crop failure and etc. have been problems.
Yeah.
This year, fertilizer may have been reduced in terms of prices, but people believe still is too far expensive for a farmer whose producer price is just about $18,000 or $22,000 per ton at the secos. Why would you justify fertilizer being sold today over 1,000 plus? Why?
Thank you very much. Just to correct your record, there is no groundnut corn that is being bought at 18 or 22,000.
It's now 20.
I think the last season is very clear. It was $32,000 per ton.
Yes.
And I think that's a very good price, and it's a price very competitive in the sub-region.
Okay.
But coming down to the fertilizer, like you said, yes, we've imported about 35,000 metric tons of fertilizer, and it's being sold at 1,150.
Which is still been seen to be very expensive.
Well,
even though significantly reduced from last year or two years ago.
Well, when you say expensive, you have to look at so many dimensions. One, what is the cost per ton of bringing fertilizer to the Gambia? At the time of our procurement, it is about $750 per ton. That is $750 for every 20 bags. So if you do the maths, that will give you way above 2,300 per bag. That aside, you have to do warehousing, you have to do transportation, you have to do so many other logistics. So overall, the bag costed government way close to $2,800 to $3,000. And that said, subsidizing it all the way to 1,150 is the greatest thing the president has advised, is the greatest thing that has happened to the farmers. So, and again, looking at the price that we are selling, look at the prices in the sub-region. Look, you can Google it. Our friendly country, Sierra Leone, the price is $68. $68 is close to $4,000.
Yeah, but that's the problem. The comparison with existing situations in other countries and ours, when our situations are different.
Yes.
People want to know, can't your government do better in terms, you mentioned subsidies, in terms of saving costs elsewhere to make sure that basic things like fertilizer are still available very cheaply to the farmers? Because after all, the crops they yield, the monies they get there, the producer price of taking you, is insignificant compared to what they spend on fertilizer.
I think, Mr. Chairman, you are missing one point. When you say producer price, you are so stuck with the groundnut alone.
Yes.
This is just one crop out of more than 25 crops that are being produced in this country.
But that is where that's what we are known for this thing.
Yes.
Most of the rest of the food, you want to convince me that rice, this is important, we import more rice than we eat here.
Yes, I agree with you.
So why is it that what happened to rice production?
Well, I think we are getting to that next level.
Yes, okay.
But I want to emphasize on the fact that from the cost of $3,000 almost per bag, to reduce that to 1,150.
Significant.
In fact, you are the first complainer I have had in the country.
No, I've been talking to the farmers. They still said it's expensive.
The farmers met His Excellency the President yesterday.
And what did they say?
They came to express delight. They came to thank the President and the government for the price. In fact, speaker after speaker said they were expecting the price to be reduced to 1,005. In fact, 1,005 would have been acceptable to them.
So they are even more surprised.
Exactly. They were pleasantly surprised that the price is down to 1,150. So to be honest with you,
I had people say it's still expensive.
Well, I have not had anybody because...
Yeah, but they wouldn't tell you because you are ministers. Well, they can tell me.
I talk to farmers.
Yeah, because you are minister, they wouldn't tell you. But
and of course, even if we had brought it to $300, somebody would have wished it was
free.
So you can never get it 100%.
Okay, there have been issues about its distribution, even allegations of corruption. They said fertilizer is I mean, okay, you may bring it, you may have all good intention to have it sent, to Gambian farmers, but along the way it is stolen and sold elsewhere. You want to say there have never been any case of theft of fertilizer being sold elsewhere, for example, Senegal?
No, actually, not in 2022 while I was a minister, or in 2023 while we have this stock with me. As of now, we have not had a single case of fertilizer being transported across the border.
Okay.
And again, let me give a context to this. Our brothers across the border, they sell fertilizer with two different prices.
Okay.
The NPK 15-15-15 is 1,250 across the border.
Okay. 1,250. Okay.
The NPK 6-20-10 and the urea is 1,100 across the border. And that's why we are in the middle. So if you take...
So there will be
there's no incentive.
There will be no incentive now.
There's no incentive to carry fertilizer from here across the border. Neither is there any incentive to carry fertilizer across the border to bring here. So we've looked at all those angles. And I can assure you, there is no reason, business-wise,
for anybody
to take fertilizer from the Gambia across the border or across the border to bring to the Gambia. So we've looked at all this angle. Nonetheless, our farmers are our police, and we will engage the Gambia police force to be vigilant. But nonetheless, Gambia is part of ECOWAS. where our recently concluded Lome declaration, one of the things we made there was trying to standardize fertilizer prices across the sub-region and also make a pledge for unhinged fertilizer travel across the borders of West Africa. This is supposed to increase productivity in the sub-region. So looking at the price across the border and what we have, it doesn't make any business sense for anybody to take fertilizer from the Gambia. Of course, people will call you and say, I've seen this truck, I think it has fertilizer, is going across. But after we check all the facts, we realize there is no substance.
That was illegitimate.
So for now, no, we don't have that issue. But yes, we are paying attention.
Good. And also, very well, let's go now to the issue about rice. Why is rice production still not progressive as we expected?
Thank you very much.
Because given the fact that agriculture, I think, has the largest number of projects supported by either one international organization or the other. A lot of money been pumped into this since I was a kid. On the Jahali Pachar, the RDP, all sort of projects, LADEP, NEMA. I mean, you cannot count the agricultural projects.
That's true.
Yet we import more rice than we even cultivate here. What is the problem?
Couple of things.
Why?
But one, you have to understand there is a whole lot of cost associated with the most fundamental of rice production. That is land preparation. The average cost to prepare a hectare of land is about $10,000 US per hectare for land preparation. And this is enormous. And the projects are doing their part. But as a country, our budget will be strained if we want to inculcate land preparation. As of now, our estimate is we must have a minimum of 10,000 hectares well prepared, well irrigated, producing year-round, twice a year, or 20,000 hectares well prepared, irrigated, and producing once a year. If you do the math of 10,000 hectares by $10,000 US, I mean, it's going to fall into millions. And the projects...
But aren't these projects not exactly, that should be their exact role and interventions?
Yes.
So why don't we get there?
Well...
And if you ask me, many people believe that these projects pays in a lot of money to maintain project directors, project officers. More money goes to them actually than to the actual work.
No, actually, this is a perception. This is
not a perception. I saw project vehicles that cost $3 million.
Yes.
$3 million, what difference? That is a lot of difference to get the land prepared, as you said. When they could be driving 200, like mine, $150,000.
I understand, but I don't want you to beat on the project directors for driving.
Checking project money, where is directors' allowance or things?
Yes.
More money goes there than to the actual work.
But I don't know if you have facts on these numbers.
No, I saw project vehicles that cost $5 million or more.
Yes.
So I said, there's no point in doing that. I drive a 150,000 vehicle.
Yes.
I mean, why can't you drive that? Or your director can drive such a vehicle?
But now, let's give it a context.
Yeah.
Is it only project vehicles that you have seen that cost $3 million?
Even your vehicle is $5 million. I mean, the government vehicle. You don't need that. You can drive mine.
Sure.
Why are you driving $7 million? I mean, that is the kind of money, and it's not only you, Ibrahim Silla is driving that. Ahmad Bai is driving that.
Yes.
When you could drive mine and save $4.5 million, that could have gone to prepare the land.
But you just told me your vehicle don't even have air conditioning.
Yes,
and you are suggesting that I should be driving your vehicle. But nonetheless, look,
so basically what I'm trying to say is, are you not spending, in overall terms, more in sustaining the officials than actually the most basic things?
No. Now let's come to facts on the ground and reality.
Yes.
Look, projects are designed by donors in conjunction with government. And projects are never in isolation. They have a sub-regional context.
Okay.
Most projects you will hear regional rice value.
Yes.
This regional rice value is cut across from almost all the West African countries. And if you hear projects like Roots, so their enumeration, you have to also be able to maintain quality people. People who have the expertise, people who understand all these project operations. And these people were or are, they are highly educated, but also they are experienced, but they left UN jobs, they left fields to come to head these projects. Some of them, and most of them, in fact. So their remuneration must be commensurate to at least the sub-regional project directors. You cannot pay a project director an amount that probably 20% of what he would have been paid had he continued his UN job, or had he gone to a project that is being run by IFAD in Guinea-Conakry or in Guinea-Bissau. So we have to, look, for us to be productive in the sector, talent must be respected, and talent must be valued, and must be
highly compensated.
Must be compensated. I wouldn't say highly, but must be adequately compensated. And I think what the projects are doing, they are just adequately compensating.
Let's talk about how many active projects are on now supporting your minister.
Currently, we have 5 active projects.
Can you name them?
Yes, and the flagship one is the Roots project.
The Roots, yes, I've just been told.
And then we have the Giraffe
what
project.
President Barrow said about Roots is they want to make sure they build, how to call it, the Bantafaro roads or bridges that will make access to rice fields easier, so that they can revitalize what used to happen before.
Yes.
You know, the Bantafaros and the that used to be there. So how far is the Roots project?
Roots project is doing very well.
The Roots project is $80 million.
Well, $80 million at the time of launching, but that was pledges. You see, it has to be differentiated. It's not like the envelope has 80 million and is sitting at the central bank.
But the pledge was $80 million.
Yes, the pledge was 80 million.
How many have been realized?
Well, we are around 50s. We are in the mid 50s.
50 million.
Yeah, we still have a funding gap of 17 to 20 million, which we are working on. But when I came at the ministry, the funding gap was quite wider than that. Okay. But I was in Rome a few months ago.
Was it?
Yes, it was a meeting with IFAD, who are the ones coordinating the funding of the Roots project. And we had this replenishment 12, which is the pledge. To use, I don't know if I use it, it will be technical, but replenishment 12 is what the donor countries annually put to a box at IFAD.
I see.
So it's called replenishment 12, replenishment 13, and so forth. So they've digged from that replenishment 12 an amount of 11.9 to shrink the funding gap for the Roots project. Okay. So we are working on actually getting to the 80 million, but in the meantime, Roots is doing very well given the budget that they have right now. And in fact, after our Rome meeting, they've raised their budget ceiling, and they are...
So Roots, like I said, wants to revitalize the rice production, the Bantafaros and this thing that used to happen.
Not only Roots, but mainly Giraffe is the one that is going to be doing the roads project. And on the 27th of this month is when we are going to open the engineering part of the tender, because for design and supervision must be done by an engineering company. So there were about 18 applicants shortlisted to 8. We'll open it on the 27th, and then whoever wins the tender will be awarded to do the design and supervision. And I've told my technicians to be sure that this design does not go beyond 2 months, so that the actual contract now will be given to the contractors sometime around September. So that because
I had President Barrow describe the Roots, and I was very impressed, because when I was young, I used to go to these furrows, and access was, there used to be tecito, food for work. You know, people are compensated for building this access to. But actually, I was impressed when he said this. You know, this intervention is.
Well, you should still be impressed. You shouldn't be in the past. Because as we speak, these projects have done a lot. If you go to Damfakunda today, they were harvesting shortly before this rain. Yes. If you go to Wasu, they're harvesting. In CRR not. So there is a lot of dry season production. Not only rainy season. And there's dry season production that happen in Makati area.
So that is Roots. Let's go to the other project.
Well, that's Giraffe is the one that's supposed to do this Roots.
That's Giraffe,
Roots mainly
is
done one, rehabilitating the gardens that were not finished by NEMA. They've done 6.
What happened to NEMA?
Well, projects have lifespan. So they just phase out after their lifespan. Naturally, that's just what
what I'm saying. If you look at the millions that have died with NEMA, and you look at what has been achieved by NEMA, you will pity.
It's quite significant. NEMA has done a lot of gardens, including the NEMA has supported a lot of gardens. And that was their mission.
Let's go to the other active one.
Well, we have, apart from the Roots, we have Giraffe. That aside, we have the rice value chain.
That's right.
The rice value chain.
What does that intend to do?
The rice value chain, the rice value is the software of the regional rice value, which is the hardware.
So to speak,
yes,
I like the comparison.
Yes, because the regional rice value focuses on equipment, and the rice value chain focuses on seeds, training, fertilizer, and subsidies. So that's why we call it the software of the regional rice value, which we describe as the hardware. So as of this year alone, the regional rice value, which is the hardware version, have distributed close to 40 power tillers in the rice production areas. And I was there to even grace the occasion.
Yes.
And not only that, they have supported our National Seed Secretariat to be able to now grow the high yielding seeds that we've been buying from other countries to be able to be produced here. These seeds have the possibility of 7 tons per hectare. Currently, the traditional seeds we have in the Gambia are about 3 tons per hectare. And by just changing our seed, that will increase our productivity way over 100% by just changing the seeds. And since these seeds cost are being incurred by our projects, and they're not sustainable because projects have lifespan. That is why we've empowered our National Seed Secretariat through this regional rice value. They have a 50-ton capacity warehouse in Sapo. They've been given almost have a whole list of things that they were given by the regional rice value, so that now they can have the capacity to breed, raise these seeds locally. And these seeds are being distributed to farmers in entire country for free. And that's very important. And not only that, they've distributed the power tillers, but also they've hired excavators to be able to do most of the excavation in the rice fields for drainage systems to declog them. And that is called desilting. You know, and the software, which is the rice value chain, have distributed for free rice seeds, high value rice seeds. They've distributed for free maize seeds. They've distributed fertilizer for free. They've done a lot of training. So this roots, giraffe, rice value, regional rice value, then we have the GAFSIP project. The GAFSIP project is mainly focused on poultry, but poultry in relation to school feeding. So GAFSIP has built and is still building over 150 poultry farms in almost all the major schools. If you check with the rural senior secondary schools like Bantanto and many places, they have their poultry. So that, and also GAFSIP is focused on school gardens, so that we can now make it indigenous, our school feeding program, so that they can be buying from the local people, and in terms of the vegetables, and also in terms of the chicken. So GAFSIP is focused on mainly school gardens, and that is school gardens and poultry, but in relation to school feeding program. Of course, they have other missions that they are doing.
Okay, let's go to the other project.
Well, I think I've named
exhausted that now.
I think I've named you 5. That is the roots, the
roots,
giraffe,
the
regional rice value, the rice value, and the GAFSIP. These are the 5 that are active
at the moment.
Yes.
LADEP, NEMA, and others have had that. They've come to the end of their.
Yes, they have phased out, just like nature will demand of everything, and they have phased out way before we came to the ministry. But some of the things that did not get done and are very vital are the ones being picked up by the current project. Let's say Roots, part of its design is to pick up the gardens that were not finished by NEMA, and they finished 6 already. Their tender document is currently at our tender committee for the next 11. Once that is done, then they are going to do what we call Roots Garden Phase 1, which is 40 gardens. So they've done 6. Their tender document for 11 is already at the committee. And once those ones are done, we will now, all that would have fallen on the NEMA. Then they will do Roots Phase 1, that is 40 gardens.
And the problem with the gardens is that the women often complain that even if they have a wild or an increment in their productions, preservation becomes a problem.
Yes.
What's your government doing to ensure that horticulture is local? We don't export, we still export vegetables from Senegal.
Yes.
I mean, our people said, well, they may be able to produce a lot of crops, but where do you preserve them?
That's a very good question. Yeah. And part of the mandate for the Roots project is the building of cold storage facilities. And currently, we have started building 3, one in Yarasoma, one in Basse, and one in Kau. And these are way beyond 80% complete. And after these 3, they're supposed to be building 15 nationwide. But being cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of post-harvest loss, the gardens that Giraffe is going to build, Giraffe is supposed to build 40 youth and women-led gardens. That's different from the 40 that Roots is going to do. Giraffe as a project is supposed to do 40. And the communities have been identified, soil samples collected, and they will start the work sometime around September 2. But one of the most important things as part of those gardens is now the gardens will be accompanied with a cold storage facility. That is a way to address your concern and the concern of most Gambians that our fruits and vegetables get to waste, and we are fully aware of that. But again, the private sector in most of those countries, let's say across the border or a few other countries, the private sector plays a very important role in managing this post-harvest loss. You see, as a government, our focus is to increase productivity. But we encourage the private sector. That is why we have matching grants. These are things as part of the projects also. We do matching grants for small to medium-sized enterprises. And we are encouraging private investors to look at this area because this is lucrative and it's also a national priority to get into post-harvest management. That is value addition, for small-scale industrialization. So yes, we are calling on the private sector to look at it.
So with all these projects combined and what they are doing and the intervention of the government, how far still, frankly, do you think we are from self-sufficiency in food, especially stable diet, our stable crop that is...
If the trajectory continues with our path now, we should be rice self-sufficient by 2026.
I heard Jammeh said this many times.
Yes. You see, food self-sufficiency is different from rice self-sufficiency.
Food in general, yes. But then, the problem with us is rice is more consumed than any other thing.
Exactly. And that's why I said, with the current trajectory, all in place, we should be rice self-sufficient by 2026 because we know what is needed. That is these 10,000 hectares. And currently, there are sites that are already producing twice a year, and I've started to mention them to you. So if the trajectory continue with the year-round production, we should be able to be rice self-sufficient. We only need 200,000 tons of rice. That is the amount
we import.
Yes. So 200,000 tons, looking at, 7 tons per hectare, it will give you the number of hectares you need to put under cultivation. So already all those figures are in place. We are working on fixing one place after the other. We just finished Dampakunda. They are now year-round production. We finished Sotuma. They will be able to do year-round production. We finished Kosemar. Is supposed to be now year-round production. Our next place is to head to Limambulu and Changali and Sankulekunda 1, Sankulekunda 2. Of course, Nyantangle, Farabale in Makati are all in production stage. So we know what needs to be done. We are doing it given the finances as they come. And if the trajectory continues, we should be rice self-sufficient by 2026.
Good. There is this Japanese rice donation projects or whatever. Many people, there have often been allegations that this is either improperly managed or worst, in some cases, embezzled. Was it meant actually to even be sold? If it is sold, it should be money that should come to supplement, I don't know whether your sector or farming, whatever. Tell us the policy. What is this Japanese plan?
Actually, I know for this 2022 and 2023, we haven't received the Japanese rice.
Why?
Well, it's a donation, and it's not like...
Does it have to factor that the donors are not impressed with the way the last one was managed or what?
No. In fact, for this year, the paperwork have started. We are at an advanced stage, expecting to receive the rice from Japan.
What is the policy? Do they give it for you to sell it or for you to distribute it?
Okay. Well, I don't want to speak for the Office of the President because
I'm talking about
they manage the
government
stock.
The Office of the President manage it. There were criticisms
the rice explicitly is supposed to be sold. Explicitly.
It's
not even an option.
Sold.
Yes.
By who? By
the Gambia government. Oh. And once it is sold, the fund is lodged in an account that is co-managed by the Japanese embassy in Dakar together with the Ministry of Agriculture. And they have a major stake in deciding what that money be used for.
So should it be the office of the president or agriculture, or your ministry, who should run it?
Well, we are running it. That's what I said.
No, but the last time it was office of the president.
Well, I don't speak for the office of the president.
Yeah, but is it proper for the office of the president to run it when you have
it is proper for the office of the president to run anything. We are dealing.
No, but then I said there's an established authority, your ministry.
No, let's
we are talking about fertilizer. Fertilizer is not going to the Ministry of. You mentioned all these projects, they are under you.
Yes.
And this is rice. You see, more or less, one would have thought it would have been under agriculture and not the office of the president.
Mr. Cham, I think you know this more than most Gambians, that the minister is acting on a delegated authority of His Excellency the President.
Yes, that's true.
So whatever role that the office of the president play is within their purview. We are acting. Look, the Ministry of Agriculture can be moved to the office of the president by tomorrow. Under the office of the president, right?
Wow, that will,
No, but that is the reality. That's the law. That's the constitution.
But that is if things doesn't go right. But normally, the office of the Minister of Agriculture should be a separate entity that will be responsible for everything the government has to do with agriculture.
But no, I'm just giving you a hypothesis, just so you understand.
Okay, I understand
the office of the president. Because to say that the office of the president shouldn't have done this, the office of the president, there are countries where, okay, let's say a few years ago, the Ministry of Women Affairs or the department that we are running, Women Affairs, we are under the office of the Vice President or office of the President.
Okay.
But now it's a ministry.
So if the office of the President or Ministry of Agriculture is running the shell of these things, is it government agencies who should sell it, or the office of the President or your ministry can even get private people to selling it? As it happened in the case the last time. It was private people who were selling it.
Yeah.
Is that proper? Because I think if it's meant for government, it should have been government officials.
It is the government that sold it. You cannot.
No, but private people were contracted to sell it.
Okay.
Is that true or false?
Let me answer your question.
No, it's not correct.
No, you are not
private people.
You are not correct.
Private people did not sell the rice.
Eventually, it will end up with private people.
No,
if the government sell it, who is the government going to sell it to?
No, the people who are, it is the government who is going to sell it to the private people. But is it right to get a private person in the first place and give that person the contract to sell it on behalf of government when there are government institutions?
In fact, government did not give the contract to somebody to sell it. Government sold the rice, because for you to get that rice, you first go to the accountant general's office, you pay, you come with a receipt for you to access that rice. So that means that it was the government that sold it. But eventually,
it wasn't sold to middlemen. That
it has to be sold to people.
People
what do you call them?
People close to the government.
It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be people close to government.
But it was people close to the government.
There were people. In fact, I cannot tell you who it was sold to, but I can just tell you it was sold to the Gambian population.
The people who have connections with your party or the government.
No. Definitely.
What happened to it this time around? You said it is coming.
It hasn't arrived yet. We are
who's going to handle it this time?
Your Ministry of Agriculture.
Not Office of the President.
Well,
why not this time?
Look, I cannot tell you it will not be handled
the
by
Office of the President. But you are sure it's not the Ministry of Agriculture that will handle it this time?
Yes. We have started the process of the rice support that comes from Japan. The process have started. Once it gets here, we will do what is needful.
You will sell it again as it is.
Well, if the conditions still remain, because the conditions that were obtained at of the time was it must be sold, the money be used with the advice of the Japanese embassy. So if the conditions remain the same, yes, we will do accordingly.
All right. I think are we still left with issues dealing with agriculture before we go into the politics now?
Oh yes, we have a lot of issues.
All right. Let's go ahead now to your intervention, especially this season that's coming. What's government intervention in this particular season?
Thank you very much.
With agriculture, rather fertilizer.
Right.
But what are the other interventions you have in mind for this farm?
A lot of interventions.
Are we going to? Yeah. Okay. Let's again because that's GGC, but it's still under you. Are we going to expect to have the ton of, for example, groundnut going to 35,000 now?
No, I cannot discuss
Oh, that's
groundnut
fairly
price
early.
that has not even been sown in the ground yet. I think that will be too premature.
You talk about subsidies you may have in mind to subsidize it so that at least farmers can get the producer price can be higher.
But, you know, subsidies will depend on a lot of factors.
I understand.
So definitely groundnut price is too
So
premature.
let's deal with the intervention that your government is having now, especially particularly this season.
One, for the first time, the government has imported 6,000 tons of organic fertilizer.
Organic fertilizer?
Yes.
When you say to laymen like organic fertilizer, you mean what?
Well, I don't think it is even for laymen. These are for
laymen like me.
These are for critics.
Talk about
These are for
M something.
these
Me,
are
what
for-
I know is urea, the white one.
Yes.
Free from that, I don't know anything.
Yes, but these are for agricultural critics like you and others.
Okay,
Who
organic
think that,
fertilizer.
that, okay, we are only focused on chemical fertilizer.
Okay.
But, you know, there are emerging markets and markets that are matured. Let's say if you want to access the EU market, sometimes they're so particular about, okay, are these fruits and vegetables produced under organic condition? And things produced under organic condition have a separate label
I understand
and they have a higher value.
Yes, I understand now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've imported this and we'll be using them in all our mixed farming centers.
Okay.
And part of our new national fertilizer policy, for the first time in the Gambia, that we have a fertilizer, organic fertilizer is well captured there.
Okay.
But again, we want to be sure that this thing works well in our mixed farming centers so that we can now make a rollout into the country so that people who want to go organic have the option. And that's very important. But that aside, this year we are going to distribute, and I think we on the 24th, which is Wednesday, I'll be in Sapo.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We will
distribute
yes.
fertilizer. Oh.
No, actually, we'll distribute 362 tons of rice seeds, and these are the seeds that I told you
about, yeah.
that have the capacity to yield over 7 to 10 tons per hectare. And these seeds will be distributed nationwide for free. And we will be distributing over 180 tons of maize seeds,
Okay.
and also for free, courtesy of the government. And he says, and these are high
These are
yield
for
maize
free,
seeds for free. And these maize have the capacity to have 2 tons per hectare. These are high yield maize seeds, and this will all be given for free. But that aside,
Yes.
also even the producers, for let's say our rice producers, they benefit from a lot of free fertilizer, not the fertilizer that is being sold at 1,150.
Oh, another one free.
Yes, and that is about 380 tons of fertilizer that will be given to rice producers at no cost.
No cost.
All this is geared towards increasing our rice production and productivity. And this is coming from the projects.
That's impressive.
And again, to plow a hectare, it costs about 2,000, 2,500. Giraffe project is going to subsidize 80% for about 2,467 hectares nationwide to be plowed by private operators, tractor operators.
Well, what happened to all the government tractors? Under President Jammeh, there were a lot of tractors given freely to the farmers. What happened? What happened to them?
I think it's...
You said your government sold some of them, I think. That's what it's
no,
been alleged.
not the government. Say the Jana Commission. This is very
Well,
clear.
the
Say the commission. No, you must say it explicitly clear who sold the tractor. You cannot say the government sold the tractor.
Yeah, that's
say
it. The government
commission.
established the Jane Commission.
Yes.
That's it.
But then
When the Jane Commission recommended that the tractors should be sold.
Out of tractor.
Now listen.
Yes.
You know the Jane Commission was established by the government.
Yes.
What? So if Jane Commission recommended tractors to be sold,
yes,
and your government sold them,
yes,
it comes to the fact that your government sold
No, but I think it will be clear also that you mentioned the process that the Jana Commission sold.
No, the Jana Commission recommended for the sale of the tractors.
Okay.
All right?
Then I think
your government failed to realize that, look, we don't need to sell this. These things are still going to be useful for the farmers. So before we sell them, let it give to the farmers.
Okay. Well, Mr. Sham,
Yes,
I think in hindsight,
there are other properties that Jana Commission recommended for them to return to either the government. You understand me? And you kept those ones. You probably want to develop them to some community projects or some development projects. Not so.
Look, I'm not going to give you a yes or a no
why
answer
didn't
here.
you keep the tractors?
Because
you sold the tractors.
Anyway.
Today you are talking to me about private, hiring private tractors.
No, we are not hiring private tractors alone. We have...
You're subsidizing so that private tractors can walk and to plow these
Mr. Cham,
when you could have owned a fleet.
We have our own fleet of 50 tractors.
Yeah, I saw those been distributed.
Right. So you cannot just associate with...
But if the ones on the Jammeh have been kept...
Yes.
I mean,
but this is not a question for me.
Yeah.
Because I can't be speaking on behalf of a Jane Commission.
No,
what the Jane Commission did.
I'm talking about Gambia government.
I am not the spokesperson of the Gambia
but
government.
Jane Commission is established by the Gambia government.
I agree, it's established by the Gambia government.
Yes.
But I'm not the spokesperson of the government. I can
You are the Minister of Agriculture.
Yes.
The tractors are under agriculture. They were meant to be agriculture.
No, the tractors were under the Jane Commission. Those tractors are not under the Minister of Agriculture.
No, they should have been there.
But even when Jammeh was here, they were not under agriculture.
No, Jammeh had his own way. He took it.
Then maybe you should have.
No, I mean, people have criticized how Jammeh has personalized power, centralized everything.
If those tractors were not under agriculture in Jammeh time, and when Jammeh left, they were still not under agriculture.
They should have been in agriculture.
Well, if they should have been, that is something in the hindsight.
Your government did not do that.
Well, look, I'm not a government spokesperson. Check with government spokesperson. He would help you.
He would have come to you, agriculture, and said, "Oh, Mr. Sabally, why are the tractors not agriculture?" He can only speak for you. Now you are here directly.
No.
Tell me why they are not under agriculture.
I can speak for the tractors that are currently under agriculture, and that is the 50 tractors
so the
that we
tractors
have.
have been sold. Now you have new ones. You said 50 of them.
Yes.
And to be distributed to farmers.
Yes.
Or farming groups or just individual farmers?
Well, 20 are mainly based in Sapo, purely to support CRR North and South on rice production alone.
Yeah, because that's the center of rice production.
Yes, and they are being managed by Maru Farms jointly with the government. Okay. The other 30 are evenly distributed in the country in our mixed farming centers.
Okay.
And these are the ones that we have contracted, not a private operator.
Are you mentioned? You are the one who said private. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, there is a group called. There is an operator in the North Bank. He has a fleet of 5 tractors.
Okay.
So because when the rain starts, almost 80% of the farmers need tractor the same day.
Almost the same time.
So we cannot just limit it to the 50 that we have under our care. If there's a possibility to contract it out to
like
a private operator,
like
it would be great so that access is increased. And that is the goal here.
All the more reason that those tractors on the Jane Commission shouldn't have been sold.
All the more reason
they should have been kept.
Well,
okay, let's move on.
Either way, they were owners.
Intervention. So
yes, about 2,467 hectares that will be plowed. Let's say if the cost is 2,000 per hectare, the farmer will only pay $400, and us, the Roots project, is paying 1,600. That is 80%. So the government is paying 80% of the cost of plowing, way beyond 2,000 hectares, and that is happening in 2023, and it's already started as we speak.
That's impressive.
So actually, government is doing a lot, and that aside, well, I'm sure. When you say agriculture, you are only thinking of crops. But there's a lot of work happening on the side of the
I want us to
animals.
deal with them, the animal livestock.
This year alone, the DLS have vaccinated for free our entire small ruminant project, small ruminant population, which is about 500,000 sheep and goat. Okay. And
that small office in Bruce will be here.
Small ruminant project. Yes. In fact, that I have to apologize for not mentioning it.
Yes.
It is one of our most active projects, and it's our 6th project. It is the small ruminant project, and it's a small ruminant project that financed the vaccination of these livestock. And they've also built about 30 breeding schemes.
Oh yeah.
They've also built 20 solar-powered animal drinking points nationwide.
I was going to talk about that because the animal drinking points was a problem.
Yes, and this project has built 20 and a minimum capacity of 40,000 liters per day. So it has the capacity, let's say Sare Sajo in LRR or Sare Silere in Wuli or Dibakunda in the North Bank, or Kili in the West Coast. We have about 20 evenly distributed. Not only do they supply the livestock of the village, but they also give the village enough water supply. So the small ruminant project has done that, and we've also in the process of building 15 veterinary drugstores, because that has been identified as a challenge. And not only that, 10 slaughter houses and about 10 meat stalls have all been being built. But the most important thing is, from January to now, or of recent, the small ruminant project has disbursed over $900,000 which is 55 million or so Gambian dollars, to our microfinance institutions. Let's say the Teachers Credit Union, the Supersonics, so that RAM dealers can go there, access short-term, low-interest loans to be able to go across the border, procure enough RAMs so that for Tobaski, our market is not under duress. So that me and you can.
But I have not seen that effect. I just passed. A group of herdsmen here. They told me And they are Gambians. I mean, the price they quoted for the rams I saw there, so cutthroat.
Yes.
And if they had acquired loans so that they can make it easy for us, it's not working.
Well, not all of them have acquired loans.
These
Some
ones
of them
are
were locally raised.
They're turntable.
In fact,
there must have been people who benefited from that loan.
Well, a lot of people had the opportunity to go and take the loan.
And they are now selling at cutthroat prices.
Yes. Unfortunately, this country don't have price control. And just like most countries in the sub-region. So I think it is going to be a bargaining issue. Yeah. And then the businessmen are businessmen. At some point,
but if you give them all these facilities so to help the Gambian people, and you don't come to check whether they are actually doing that.
No, of course
otherwise the projects would be useless.
The GLMA is doing that. That is the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency. They are working with these people.
These people are asking for fortune for a ram.
Yes, I understand. And that's unfortunate. But that is why we are working on this project, a lot of breeding sites, so that indigenous breeders, we can have as much rams as possible. Once there are enough rams in this country, the price will go down naturally. And just like for
the argument against that is just like in crops, food crops.
Yes.
Findi is not imported.
Yes.
Findi.
Yeah.
And Findi is more expensive than rice.
Yes.
So what guarantee do we have that even if we produce things locally, they will be cheaper?
But then that you don't have to blame government for that.
No, I'm not blaming government. I'm saying if you are telling me that if we produce our own crops will be cheaper.
No, but
Findi is produced locally.
Yes.
Findi is twice more price than this.
Yes.
So
look,
what is the argument?
That is just, I'm not an economist, but I think supply and demand will play its part. If there are a lot of rams in this country, and you know that ram sales naturally happens around Tobaski. After Tobaski, hardly
wouldn't we also help our industry, local industry, by at least, if not stopping, but at least controlling rams coming outside?
No, I think at the moment we don't have enough rams locally. If we control the import of rams, rams will cost you probably 100,000, or you may not.
So we don't have enough.
So of course we don't have enough.
So
rams
even with all this intervention with these ruminants, something over there, giving them loans so that they can breed and produce, we still haven't enough. We haven't enough.
This small ruminant project is into its second or third year.
But you said they have already distributed $900 million.
$900,000 US.
That's in fact, that's how many millions?
55 million.
Million.
Yeah, for procurement of rams. That is different from what they have done for our ram dealers in this country. That is way in the excess of that. What they have.
Say we have not seen the filtering down.
No, you have seen probably.
I could only find out from asking the price of ram. I did that in the turntable here twice.
Well, just being told the price of ram does not indicate the increase or decrease on the level of productivity of our small ruminant. Of course, naturally, you know that there is significant production of small ruminant locally in our country. That is very obvious because of the support of the small ruminant project.
Interventions, I recently, you yourself came to announce, or no, it wasn't you, but there's been a significant reduction in the price of rice.
Yes.
Was it a temporary measure?
No, it's not a temporary.
So now, for now on, we get the price now. I bought perfume. $2,200.
Because you choose.
I would say, where is Sabally's rice?
It's not Sabally's rice.
It's the President Barrow's rice. The rice that costs 1,000 something. I couldn't see it.
Well, maybe you don't want to see it because you are resourced enough.
So tell us this rice now. This is a temporary measure, or is it going to be?
The Gambia Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly
used to be
GGC, is in the business of importing rice and oil, and they've published all their sale points with names and numbers.
I saw it.
You saw it.
Yes.
So if you choose to go and buy perfume rice for 2,000, that's because you are well resourced. The average Gambian what he would have done is to take that number because the locations are there.
Yeah, I saw it.
Tabogo is there, Banjul is there, Burusubi is there, all the way to Basse.
I see.
What the person would have done is to call and say, where are you people specifically
located? Do you have enough in stock?
Yes, there is enough.
How many thousand tons? How many thousand tons?
Well, ton may change as we go, but I know as of now, there's a whole lot of containers at the ports that are en route to the GGC warehouse for continuing in this business. This is looked at for a long time because we want to.
It looks like the former NTC. You can remember?
Yes, I remember NTC.
Something like that.
Yes. And it has made serious impact on the prices. Yes. Thanks to His Excellency's intervention, today a bag of rice is about 1,500. And
depending on the variety.
Look, it's one variety. We don't have different ones.
I'm talking about what you choose. For example, I bought perfume. That's 2,200.
Look,
if there are a lot of these things, maybe that will force the sellers of that variety to come down.
No, it won't come down because there are people in this country who are bent on class issue. Who will go and buy jasmine for 3,000 or basmati or perfume for you?
Yeah.
A regular Gambian would go and buy this rice for 1,500.
I understand that.
And that market will still exist.
Okay.
And if the population choose to buy at that cost, then that is their choice.
Oh.
And we as...
At least the government has done what it should do.
The government has done what it should do. It has created an environment where affordable rice is available. And it's high quality rice.
Yes.
And also affordable and safe oil is made available at 1,600 per 20 liter. So that is what the government can do.
Commendable.
Right.
Now that I know, I will not buy anywhere from. I will buy from there. So
please do so.
Any other intervention this year with the farming season? I know there have been. Well, that probably may involve a different department, but it has been reported that there has been some flooding or some sort of with the very first rains.
Yes.
That is quite worrying. What information did you have? Do you have so far? Or in Woolley, I guess, and Kolibantang?
Yes. It is very unfortunate, and I'm expressing sadness for the loss to our farmers in terms of either livestock or their household materials, or the inconvenience or the exposure that they endured for the flood. Yes, there was flood in the woolly part of the URR.
Yes, Jakunda.
Yes, I don't want to mention specific, but
of course you have to. You are very well conversant with projects everywhere.
Yes, of course.
So you must know where disaster happened too.
Yes, of course, you've mentioned
I know Jakunda and Kolibanta.
Exactly, those are the areas, and that's why I said the woolly part of URR. Yes. So that's a very specific area.
Okay.
Unless somebody who
no, you want to say you don't want to mention, please. That's what I.
Not necessarily.
You
I don't
probably
want to
may not know exactly where.
Of course,
but Kolibantang and Jakunda definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Disaster Management Agency is the primary agency tasked with assessing and advising and even ameliorating their suffering. But of course, as a Ministry of Agriculture, in fact, majority, if not all, of the victims are farmers and farmland.
Absolutely.
So our team in Basse is doing an ongoing assessment of affected families who are the farming community and also the farmland. Nonetheless, we don't expect this to have an impact in this year's season because this was the first rain. It's not like crops have been washed away or seeds have been washed away. Agriculture proper had not started in earnest. So it's unfortunate. It will create a lot of...
but does it also have to do with infrastructure development, art movement in some of these areas? Couldn't it have been something to do with, like in Banjul, we were told that, of course, some of the projects, part of the project may have caused the flooding. Is it the same thing you may have in Kolibantang and road art movement? You know, when art, for example, people are beginning to be worried. This beautiful road that's been built on Hardin Highway.
Yes.
People are saying that, I mean, it might cause flooding because, I mean, you look at it, both sides of the road. I mean, the art movement had caused very big.
Well, Mr. Cham, I'm not an engineer. Neither do I wish to speak for the Ministry of Works.
Well, we have to be mindful.
They have done the best possible they can do. They are experts. They've looked at all those things, and I'm pretty sure you know that. As part of the design of the road, they must have factored in the possibility of flood. They've done as many drainage options as possible. A lot of kind of bridges have been built under the freeway. So really, I don't want to speak for them, but I am convinced personally that the minister responsible for works, Honorable Silla, and his team have looked at almost every possibility and have factored it in. Good. So let's hope for the best, but I'm sure they've looked at that. Okay,
let's still with agriculture. You know, we mentioned Kolibantang. I mean, the disaster that has happened is about the onset of the rain. Yes. May not have to. It's pretty, let's say, pretty too early and surprising to everybody
for the flood.
That the first rains have started, you know, bringing flooding.
Yes.
And you mentioned, of course, the environment and all that stakeholders are assessing,
looking at it,
the situation.
Yes.
So generally now, to wrap up this agricultural sector assessment in our program, so you have now cheap fertilizer,
yes,
cheap food,
free seeds,
yes, and
cheap rice, cheap
oil,
not cheap, let me say affordable,
affordable
rice,
well,
affordable
cheap.
oil. I don't want to use the word cheap because it has a negative.
Cheaper than the one I bought, for example.
Well, it's more affordable.
Okay.
I'll stick to that
okay,
word.
More affordable.
Yes, currently, with direction from His Excellency, this country has a lot more affordable rice, affordable oil, and also affordable fertilizer. If distributed, free rice seeds nationwide will be distributed to farmers. Free maize seeds distributed to fertilizers. Free vaccination campaign our ruminants have been done. A lot of support to make our Tobaski easier have been done. And a lot of other support from the Ministry of Agriculture. Plowing services for our farmers, ongoing for thousands of hectares at 80% subsidized. Farmers are only paying 20% to plow your land. Once you plow your land, almost for free, you are also given free seed. You are also given a very highly subsidized fertilizer. I mean, what else can they say about His Excellency and his Ministry of Agriculture?
Only to commend him.
I would expect so.
All right, but this might be under another ministry, but I think fish farming also, you may have, what's the correlation between your ministry and the Ministry of Fisheries in terms of fish?
Fish farming.
Yeah.
Well, fish and fisheries is under a different ministry.
Yeah, but I think you still have some
well,
role
yes, we have some collaboration because it will, one way or the other, mainly it will increase food security.
Okay.
But again, it's a high income source because fish is a very expensive material now. So yes, currently we are not very big on fish farming.
Okay.
And I would probably leave that question to the Ministry of Fisheries for advice, yes.
The Honorable Demba Sabally, Minister of Agriculture. But like I said, Honorable Sabally is also the second the Deputy National President of the governing National People's Party. Now, let's turn to politics. For example, let's go straight to the recently concluded elections in the mayors and chairmanship. After the presidential election, which your party won handsomely, the parliamentary elections came. Of course, you have majority of the seats, but only just. The area council elections, you may have won the most number of seats, but not the popular vote. Worst, this last mayor election.
Well, it was.
Yeah, for your part. Even though I agree with President Barrow that in that one you are in the opposition. Okay. So if you have managed to get 4 out of 8, yes, you could say you have done well.
Yes.
But then you agree with everybody that the losses in Banjul, KM, West Coast, and LRR are significant losses. What do you think was responsible?
Well, thank you very much. You know, I like to discuss politics, and honestly, I will agree with you that yes, losses in Banjul, KM, and West Coast LRR are significant. Of course, I wouldn't say it's not significant, but I'll still concur with the statement of His Excellency President Barrow, the one he made post-election, that look, from 0, we went to 4 as a party. And our opponent, the UDP, they were at 7. They came down to 4. So, looking at it, I don't see it as a loss. We have done pretty well. And like you said, for this chairmanship election, we came as opposition. They were the ones ruling. They had access to everything that you can imagine.
Let me say,
yes.
Go ahead. What do they have access that you don't have?
Well, they control the media.
Which media?
All the media.
The media was free for everybody.
I don't think so.
You never came here. You only come here today, which I commend. Did you come here
this
before?
Is the first time you invited me.
If I asked Talib Bensouda to come, no, but the other.
There is nobody in Kerr that has ever dialed my number.
But Sidinjai was here.
Yes.
How to call it? Many other people from the KM from the NPP were here.
Yes.
They could have gone to the point, They could have gone to the Standard. Sirinja is always on the Standard newspaper. Suleiman Kamara is always on the Standard newspaper.
Look, it is no secret.
So why didn't you make use of the media as they probably might have done? I mean,
it's not like we did not.
If you were to go to Nigeria, you know Nigeria, Senegal, in terms of election, it's a field day for the media.
Yes.
Everybody who comes buy a paper, buy a page, buy television airtime.
Yes.
GRTS was giving you people live coverage. When it should have been done the same thing for the opposition candidates. They were not doing that.
No,
of course.
No.
Just look at that. GRTS was giving you live coverage.
Look, when in campaign,
it was not given in campaign. Yes, it was given only a few minutes to all the parties broadcast. But wherever Barrow went, live coverage.
Barrow.
Yes.
Okay, let me make it.
I have records of that.
Yes. No.
So why can you say
you have the wrong record.
Control the media,
Mr. Cham?
Yeah.
I have to strongly dispute that during the election campaign period, the official campaign period, that the GRTS did live broadcast of wherever Barrow went.
Of course.
Oh, no. Listen. Listen. We had 4 rallies, 4 meetings in the West Coast.
Yes.
These meetings were laying of foundation stones.
No.
You have to differentiate.
The political messages were said there. Barrow was seen telling people, vote for my candidates if you have voted for me.
What did you expect President Barrow to do if he stand in front of even 10 people, not to tell them to vote for his candidate?
But if GRTS, which should have been fair, they were given $33 million to be fair election coverage last time, which they did very well.
Yes.
Now they are giving coverage to Barrow live.
They did a coverage to His Excellency at the Foundation Stone Lane.
Okay, Foundation was just one.
Those 4 rallies, those 4 meetings,
my friend,
were the meetings of laying foundation stone for our road construction.
That almost all what has been said in that meeting was political.
Well, when politicians meet, naturally they will talk politics.
was doing live coverage. It was not doing that for... Barrow was attacking opposition, live on television.
No, Barrow, His Excellency went there.
It's on air, it's everything. People will Google and found you. Please, don't even make your argument strong on that.
No.
People will take it out and give you evidence. I'm
not saying that whether he attack or don't attack, but His Excellency is a politician.
Yes.
And you don't expect him to stand at a podium and not be political. What do you expect him to do?
And it's covered live. It was not done. That's not done for Talib. It was not done for Yankuba Dabo. It was not done for Rohit Malik Law.
Well, GRTS did not go there.
They would not go there.
They did not go to our event because it was political. They went to the event because it was an official event of the laying of a foundation stone. That is what took GRTS.
Foundation stone laying event. Political meeting disguised as a...
Well, you call it disguise. I don't call it disguise. For me, it was a foundation stone laying program. That is what we had, and the president was there, and GRTS was there.
You said the opposition won because they control the media.
Well, not only they control it. I didn't say the opposition won.
You said they had many things that
they won where they won, and we won where we won.
But you said they had what you don't have. I said,
well, that is the media.
They had the media.
Yes.
Which was free to use.
No, I don't think.
And you had the national media.
See, it's one thing to be free. It's another thing to be friendly.
No, I cannot.
Free and friendly is different.
I cannot see any effort that your party made, and you were rejected. For one. Did you give an offer to any of the networks and they tell you we are not going to air it?
Look,
it's not possible.
In fact, I don't think it was the same kind of approach that the media had with the candidates of UDP in West Coast and in KMC. No, it's not.
The opposition candidates were discussing programs.
No.
Your candidates, particularly President Barrow and some of
President Barrow was not a candidate, so don't even put him.
In fact, why did he got involved? That's what
he did not. President Barrow went to a foundation stone laying.
But he talked about Talib Bensouda. He talked about Sidi Njai and Sidi Cisse. He talked about his candidates.
Mr. Cham, His Excellency is a politician, and when he stands at a podium, naturally you should expect him to be political.
So he campaigned for them. He told them to vote for him.
And did you expect anything otherwise?
Okay, I'm telling you what went wrong. The president campaigned for his candidates. The candidates themselves campaigned, yet you lost. What went wrong? I want you to tell me what went wrong for the party.
The parties
in that area.
UDP candidates campaign. Their party leader campaigned with them. Other parties supported them, and they also lost. You tell me then why they lost?
They lost in the provinces.
Well, they lost in the Gambia. You call it the provinces, fine, but they lost.
They won the urban area where the most populated are.
Okay,
even your party admitted that loss is far bigger than whatever achievement you had in that place.
No.
I heard your people say that.
Nobody in our party admitted
I have audios which say that the losses is greater here.
If somebody make an audio and
a party official.
A party spokesman?
No,
a party
a
official?
party
A senior
official
NPP official?
Yes.
Said what?
That the losses they have in this just ended election is far greater than whatever loss they have.
Now let's come back to reality and give it a context.
I want to tell you, because the last time your party said it's the selection of candidates in the parliamentary that caused the problem. They have learned it. I want to know, for example, is it a selection problem this time around? But you began to say, these people have press, we don't have press. But let's go to the concrete terms. Was it party candidate selection this time? Oh.
No, we don't have any. We didn't have any candidate selection problem. The candidates we selected were very competent, we are very capable, and they were selected through a process that was transparent, and candidate selection was not our challenge.
So why did you lose in Banjul, for example?
Well, there are many factors that might have caused. One, you all know that Rugi Malik Law illegally attested to thousands of individuals. And this is not me who said it. This was said by the court, that her attestations were illegal. Right? I didn't say this. This is from the courts.
But at the time before, what the law interpreted was that mayors were not among people who are legally allowed to do it.
And those sugarcoated just said, the court said, the attestations made by Rugi Law were illegal.
But that had never been challenged before the law. It is not even your government that challenged it. It's a private civil society.
Yes.
So it was accepted.
Whether it's challenged by a private civil society or by you or me, the facts remain, the facts are, the court, the High Court ruled that the attestations, thousands made by Rugi Malik Law were illegal.
Okay, but the same law, the same court said they cannot be disenfranchised.
No. The court did not say that.
So it was only revising courts that can do it.
Yes.
So that's what the court
No. That to be able to remove them from the voter list was never a challenge. It was not challenge. So you
it was. It's only the revising courts that can do it.
No, this is you saying that.
So you did not challenge
yes, we did not challenge it.
Why?
No, that's for a discussion of another day. Why we did not challenge it. Okay, but let's make it very clear.
You want to say that those
attestations
voted for him,
that Rugi Malik Law made illegally. Illegally. Yes.
Where were they in the presidential election when Barrow won them? Are they not the same people?
Well,
the same attested
those
people voted for Barrow then.
Well, look, election day, you saw how many people Rugi Malik Law transported from almost every part of the country.
But you can.
Those people who see attest to, most of them, majority of them, are not residents of Banjul.
Okay, listen.
People in Banjul have birth certificates and voters and ID cards. So majority of people that see attested to, we are not residents of Banjul.
If at all that's the case.
Yeah, that's one of the cases.
Tens of thousands, the Alkalolu who are under your government, attested.
But they are legal. The attestations by Alkalos are legal. This was a list produced not by our government. Okay. The requirements of listen.
Attestating foreigners is legal.
Let's make it very clear.
Attestating foreigners 100%
attesting to anybody who is non-Gambian is illegal and unacceptable.
But that's what happened massively in the last one.
In fact, I think you are making a very wrong statement. Because to say that the attestations by Alkalos were given to foreigners, you don't have any iota of evidence. Wait.
There are investigations to that.
Wait.
But let me tell you.
No. Let me finish this, please. Because after the attestations of the ones you called so-called foreigners was done, a registration list was published in every locality.
Yes.
And everybody was told
to go to
the revising course and challenge anybody. So then why today are you insinuating that they are foreigners?
Just as your party did not challenge
Banjul, exactly.
The opposition also did not challenge the other part of the country.
Exactly.
In fact, when it comes to attestations, it's all the political parties who agree that it should go.
No, there is no attestation requirement for obtaining a voter's card. Was a list made by the IEC, not by the government.
No, you don't understand.
Yes, I do.
The act was amended to allow attestations and birth certificates.
Right.
Very good.
Yes.
That was done by Jammeh.
Okay.
And that was seen to be bad. That is why Solo Sunday and others died, because they wanted that reformed.
Look,
but listen carefully, and that's what I'm telling you.
I don't want to give back to
that is what happened.
But what I'm telling you.
But I'm telling you that Jammeh introduced attestations.
Okay.
All right, and birth certificates, and every document, every Gambian document should allow somebody.
But did that help Jammeh to win the 2016 election?
I'm telling you, there are factors such as your GDC, and the 150,000 cards that were burned at their political view.
I understand.
So that's not the factors that otherwise you would have won. But I'm telling you that when the law was changed, your party and all the opposition parties, to be fair, they had a stakeholder meeting with the IEC. And attestation was raised, but all the parties said, no, I think attestation should stay. Because
all the parties?
Yes. Because if you remove it, it will disadvantage everybody.
Okay. But then why do you have a problem with it?
The problem is, it became now a competition of who has the means and who has the mechanism to corrupt the system by getting the Alkalolu and the Sefolu who are directly under the influence of the government of the day.
You cannot.
So naturally, the government of the day won in that battle by getting illegally more foreigners attested than the opposition would have.
In fact, I 100% disagree with you.
Let me ask you now.
There is not a single foreigner that obtained a voter's card as far as we know.
Yes.
If you knew a foreigner obtained a voter, what stopped you as a journalist?
No, not from the election.
But if you knew, no, you are the one saying it here. So for me, I'll assume that
I don't want to preempt an investigation that has been done. So I know that you probably will read somewhere facts and figures.
All right.
But now what I'm telling you
is
that, can you tell me, Demba, 600,000 people whom you said are all foreign, all Gambians. You said they.
I didn't say they are Gambians. The IEC said they are Gambians.
You said there's no foreigner in the list. That's what you said.
No, there's no foreigner in the list.
Okay, I know. All right, 600,000 of them.
900,000. Not 600,000. We have 900,000 registered.
That's total.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, 600,000 of them.
Okay.
Sat here during the election, especially this last one. They did not vote for Barrow. They did not vote for UDP.
They did not vote for Barrow.
No, they did not vote for NPP.
Okay.
They did not vote for UDP.
Okay.
They did not vote for PPP, which had a candidate somewhere. They did not vote for Gambia for all. 600,000 of them, Gambians, because you said there is no foreigner.
No,
listen.
I didn't say there is no foreigner. It is IEC who said there is no foreigner.
Let me finish.
It's not, we didn't make that list.
The IEC does not have any power. Anybody convicted which they would register.
Exactly.
They don't determine. That was
neither did the government. It was not us who were registering people. It's the IEC.
I'm telling you, the IEC was not registering. They were registering people who came from
who came with documents.
Who gave the documents?
The people who are authorized to give the documents.
Under the government.
Of course, no.
So now let's answer this question. 600,000 of people whom you said are not foreigners.
No.
They were here. They did not vote, even though President Barrow campaign, you agreed. Dabo campaign, you said. Mama Kande campaign. But these 600,000 people sat here in the country. They are not bothered. They don't want to take part in the elections. They did not vote for NPP. They did not vote for GMC. They did not vote for UDP, and they are Gambians. They are here. They are not interested in politics. You believe that? That's logical? 600,000 of them? Not bothered with what happened in the country, not taking part in politics?
So, in summary, are you insinuating that?
Is that logical to you? Do you believe that 600,000 people are here? Seeing the president campaign, seeing the opposition leader campaign, seeing Mama Kande campaign, yet they don't bother. They say, I'm not going to vote.
Well, look.
600,000 of them.
Mr. Cham,
no, I said, do you believe that's logical?
Yes.
It's logical.
It is logical. Oh, are you insinuating that these 600,000 don't exist? They are virtual?
No.
They went to Mali and Burkina Faso.
Don't you believe that they don't live here?
I believe.
You don't believe
100% that the 900,000 that the IEC registered are Gambian people with genuine voters card and they voted for president.
So who did not vote? Where are they?
The people who did not vote.
Yes.
Of course, they are in the community.
They are in the Gambia.
Yeah, of course. Why do you expect them to be?
Why do you think they don't vote?
Well, this is a work for us to go ahead and do, and including yourself as a journalist, to go and find out.
What did I tell you? If I tell you my opinion that they do not live here, what do you say?
Of course, I will say your opinion is false. Okay. And of course, you are a Gambian citizen entitled to your own opinion.
My opinion is that they don't live here.
Well, you are entitled to your own opinion.
They would have been concerned. They would have said, oh, Barrow did very well. I have to go and vote for Barrow. They would have said, no. Barrow did very disastrous. And let me go and vote for Dabo.
Yes.
Dabo's candidate.
Exactly.
Or let me go to Mama Candace. But they sit down. They are not bothered.
Exactly.
They are not boarded.
Mr.
600,000 of them.
What you are presenting here are not facts or figures. You are presenting your own opinion. And as an adult Gambian, I respect you holding your opinion. But I want to make it clear to you that that opinion doesn't hold water. And I do not subscribe
let's
to
go
it.
to KM. Why did your party lost? Why did your party lose over there? KM. What do you think? You said Rohi registered people. Maybe they have voted for. Okay, let's go to KM. The mayor did not attest anybody. It's the Alcalolo there and the Alcalolo there. Why did you lose there?
Well,
Rohi is in Banjul.
Yes.
Talib did not register anybody. Attested anybody.
Yes.
Why do you lose there?
Well, it's a litany of things. One, like I said, I think Talib is a baby of the media houses. Is a media very friendly environment for him. And that aside, he was incumbent. So we were going against an incumbent. So it's not like we were, just because we are the ruling party, we putting up a candidate. This time we are coming against the hill. And Talib being the incumbent and also publish all these things that he has done when you can hardly explain.
Well, the population voted for him. They said he gets solid achievements.
Look,
the population voted, they believe him.
Through people like A, B, and C, that's the media, have helped him convince majority of the people who went out to vote.
So Bakar Baji could not use the media to convince people that this man is not the right man.
Well, Bakar Baji has definitely done that. He's tried, but it is up to the voters. And look,
so it is not Talib's actual solid achievement and programs that he was selling.
Can you tell me, apart from the flowers at Westfield,
well, of course,
apart from the so-called Mbalit project,
even Bakar Baji commended him for the Mbalit. They built the Latrikunda market with Gum. He admitted that Gum Works.
Gum was, of course, built.
But he expanded it using the
No, there's no expansion. It's built by Gum Works.
He built the Latkumba Road, he said it.
Where?
The Latkumba Road. That was exclusive. He said it. Oh,
I've never heard of the word Latkumba Road.
Well, you were not following his programs. You could have challenged
Do you know any place called Latkumba?
Oh, yes, there's a road called Latkumba Road.
Where? Tell me any part of KMC called Latkumba.
You were led to challenge that. He said it. You did not challenge him.
No, you are now.
No, it's no. Latkumba Road exists.
You are authenticating it.
Of course, he
Since you are authenticating it,
I'm not authenticating. I'm saying what he said he built.
Because there is no Latkumba as far as I know.
There is a road called Latkumba. Sabally, don't stick your neck. People will Google and show you.
I'm sticking my neck.
So you don't know that.
No,
just say you don't know.
It doesn't exist.
No, you don't know.
I said
there is a road called Latkumba Road.
I don't know any part of KMC called Latkumba.
But you said it doesn't exist. It exists. I can tell you.
Well,
it exists. I'm not validating. I'm saying what Talib said. What that road exists. So please don't go there to say.
Do you know any part of KMC called Latkumba?
No, the road is named after a person. There is a person called Latkumba.
Leading to where? The road is leading from which point to which point?
I can't tell you offhand now.
You'll be able to say
but
this.
I know that what Talib said, with maps and indications. Well, so now I'm telling you that you are late to challenge that because he said it in public. You were busy attacking his personality.
No, me, in fact, I did not spend 5 minutes in KMC.
But your party
I stayed
your
in
party supporters were busy attacking his personality. Well, he was giving you programs that people were convinced.
In fact, I don't think
your party supporters at a rally said he was a Lebanese.
Unfortunately, I don't subscribe to those kind of
But it happened on your platform.
Not on
NPP rally. You did not condemn it. You saw the videos.
Yeah, I saw the videos.
You did not condemn it.
Look, there are many things that have not even been condemned both sides.
So Talib sold his programs solidly. Everybody saw it. You did not challenge it.
I did not.
You were busy attacking his personality, calling him a foreigner.
Well,
so people listened to him and voted for him.
Look,
simple.
I respect the results of elections.
Yes.
I am a fervent believer of democracy. Yeah. Talib was elected, and let him get to work.
What about Brikama? How did you lose there? Because that was at least some part of the tenure was under your reign, Sirfo Soko.
Right.
When he defected from the UDP, it was an NPP council.
Yes.
That was an NPP council.
Yes.
Why do you lose the place?
Well, there are many factors, like I said.
What?
This is not isolated. You cannot be separating KMP and West Coast. You cannot. No, they are not different. The factors remain the same.
No. That one, at least, you had halfway incumbency. You said Talib was an incumbent. That was the problem.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, Brikama, half of the tenure, you were the incumbent.
We just concluded this election as a party.
Yes.
We are still in the process of studying all the factors.
Very good.
All the factors
that
have led to us not winning.
Very good.
West Coast came and Banjul. The process is ongoing.
Do you believe that there were issues, national issues that crop in there?
Yes.
Most commentators said national issues crop in and actually overshadowed local matters.
Yes.
For example, KMC people would not listen to Bakari.
Why?
They would not listen to Bakari because in the middle of the campaign or shortly before the elections, the government increased the cash power cost for energy.
Yes.
So if Bakari comes to tell them that my government is interested in this and this, they will just simply
You see, increasing the cost of cash power
and other national
shortly,
issues.
no, let's deal with the cash power first.
Yes.
Shortly before election, it shows the genuineness of His Excellency President Barrow and the NPP, because it was increased at that time.
His boldness and
being genuine.
Yeah.
Because if he was a selfish politician, like some of them are, he would have left it as it is, whatever maybe, because he want to win the election.
Don't you know that? Don't you think if he got the strategy wrong, he would have done exactly that?
No.
He got it wrong.
President Barrow would do the right thing regardless of
At the
what
right
the
time.
outcome
At the
will
right
be.
time.
No, well, he will always do the right thing regardless of what would be the outcome. Because if he had chosen to leave, if you say, had the cash power been left alone, he would have won. But he is looking at a greater picture. He's looking at a nation. Had the cash power been left as it was, it had a greater implication.
Why? We wouldn't have light.
Yes.
Because Senegal
exactly, you wouldn't have light.
Because Senegal would shut down their grid.
Well, that and other stuff.
Car power ship would shut down their grid.
Exactly. So had that happened, that has greater economic impact, greater negative economic impact in the country on us as a nation than looking at, okay, I can risk that and win election.
So if the president had been just selfish politically,
yes,
he would have delayed that.
Exactly.
So it's not the case that if he were not sincere and bold,
yes,
he would have delayed until after the election.
Exactly.
Okay.
He could have done that and probably win the election, but that will go against his consent because his consent is clear.
What do you make of the other factors that your party is divided now, very much divided? That must have led to your losses of ground in the KM and West Coast.
No.
Divided, your parties. What do you make of that?
No, I really strongly disagree that our party is divided. Ruling parties have always had their issues. PPP was here, and we know, it had its own set of issues with, A and B. So the same with APRC. Look, we are not divided. Whatever, no,
okay,
we are not. As a party, whatever difference we have.
I don't want personal things, but you were recently in Sweden.
Yes.
To preside over what was supposed to
Diaspora
be
Congress.
Diaspora Congress.
Yes.
As soon as the Congress was done, a senior member of your party, Maimuna Sisa Dabo, came out to say that that Congress was illegal. The members of the legitimate people were not invited. You went to preside over a sham election, and that committee will not be recognized. That action has divided the party in the diaspora very well. She even doubted whether President Barrow actually blessed, your that mission to Sweden. What is the truth? What do we believe in now?
Thank you. Look, Mr. Cham, let me.
I will not bring the personal things today, but I just want to know whether that was a legitimate move you made.
Yes.
She did not agree,
and that's fine. But I want to make it very clear.
Yeah.
I've heard or been told about.
Forget about the personal one.
But let me make it very clear
that
everybody in this country, an adult in their right mind, don't expect me as a cabinet minister leave this country through Yundum Airport to go to as far as Sweden, be there for as long as I was there without authorization, just go at my own will. Does that make sense to any adult Gambian? It should not. So let's move on. Secondly,
was the Congress legitimate? Because she was a member of the Congress. She's a member. Others were there. You didn't invite them.
No, it's not like I did the invitation. The diaspora made the invitation, and they invited everybody, including herself. Everybody was invited, and when I say everybody, I meant everybody, including herself. So, and I wasn't the only one there. I was there with Keba Madibojang, who is the president of the youth wing, national youth wing.
But you are... listen. You are deputy national president. You are the most senior.
Yes.
So if you went there...
I led the team to go there.
Yeah, you are the most senior.
Yes.
So you didn't know that there is a division which you could have worked for.
In fact, look, it's not like I don't know there is a division.
Yeah.
You
know there was a division.
This team that held the Congress, there has never been a Congress of the diaspora. Live Congress. There has never been. Okay, we had a Congress here. This is the first live Congress for which we were all invited, and nobody has.
You mean this was the first formal one?
Yes.
The other one was just picking people from.
They had virtual congress or meetings or whatever.
So this was the one.
This was live, live there, and people were invited, and nobody has.
Who invited them?
The committee, the diaspora committee. They have a committee there.
Okay.
The diaspora committee. They are the ones that did the invitation.
Okay.
And I went to honor the invitation.
And you went with the blessing of President Barrow.
Well, I don't want to go there, but I'm just going to make it.
I mean, they are saying that you didn't have his blessing.
Okay, let me make it
You
clear.
said that's not possible. You said that's not possible. You couldn't have gone without his blessing. That's what you just said here.
Well,
so Maimuna was right when he said that. It was wrong when he said President Barrow could not have blessed your journey.
Well, let me make this thing.
So now it's clear that Barrow.
Let me make this very clear. It will not make sense to any genuine
for you to go.
adult Gambian
Yeah.
that I will leave this country, fly from Yundum Airport, go to Sweden, do what I did there, live on Facebook, come back, just like because I wanted to do it. Why will I have pleasure? And I would have just gone and just do this just out of the blue.
My money said there were people who are rebellious to their committee that was there, the diaspora committee.
I don't want to.
No. She said there were people rebellious, but coming to validate them, you become a rebel leader in the party. You are splitting the party. She said.
Look,
they call you a rebel.
Even if a Gambian chicken that has a voter's card and is supporting NPP, I will never go to social media or on a platform like this to attack. I will never attack
You're
anybody.
not attacking. You are clarifying.
I will never attack anybody, regardless of what they say about me.
No, your passion. Your
Yes.
passion. I don't want to bring your passion,
Yes,
but your passion.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to make it very clear
Yeah.
that I went and witnessed. The Congress was organized by the diaspora.
I see.
I was invited just like everybody else, and I wasn't there alone. The president of the youth wing was there. So is it like accidental?
You were supposed to be the leader. So
we
didn't
didn't even go on the same flights. It's not like
not the same flight, but since you are the leader, the most senior person, you ought to have known the problems existing, call all of them together and say, look, before this Congress go ahead, I want to make sure that I bring everybody on board. Where is Maimuna Sisi? Where is Mr. You didn't do that.
And when the invitation was extended
to all of them,
why didn't somebody say, oop, no, we should not honor this invitation because there's a problem, A, B, and C, nobody should go. Why was it not the case?
But you've been the leader.
The bottom line, no, let me tell you this. If somebody is telling you there was a problem, it is somebody who's telling you there was a problem. I want to make it very clear. I went to Sweden to witness a diaspora, NPP diaspora congress that we were invited to, and we went to witness, we witnessed it, and we validated it. Period.
Good.
And if somebody else have a different take, that is their personal take. For me, I know anybody who is in this country who is reasonable will understand 1 + 1 will always be 2. And if somebody thinks differently, that is their business. But I will not attack anybody.
Normal. It's normal to even within the same party for people to disagree. That's normal.
Exactly.
That's part of party.
Yes.
But do you agree that this is a reflection of a division in the party that might have caused your electoral losses?
No, I don't think the party is divided.
What do you believe? What do you believe in the theory that some of you people who came to the party later have now marginalized the people who initially formed the party, who split from the UDP? There's a theory that they have all been marginalized. It is you, the newcomers, led by yourself, who have now marginalized all the other.
But when you say marginalized, what do you mean? Because
marginalized means you are now seen to be more influential. You are one who consulted and relied upon, by the Secretary General, President Barrow.
No, that's not the case. President Barrow does not.
For example, you've been catapulted to national president without election. You've been catapulted to national president from a defector from GDC, a defector.
Right.
You've been catapulted to national president.
I'm not the national president.
The deputy national president.
Yes.
Number 2.
But this was at the Congress. We had a Congress.
But election was not allowed.
Well, what do you mean election was?
The delegates were ready to.
Was it only my position that wasn't voted for?
The same thing happened to CD.
But of course, the same thing happened to Suku. The same thing happened to Queen Jammeh.
No, the thing is, delegates were ready to participate in elections.
Of course, yes.
But people, it is said, people in the hierarchy, like President Barrow, allegedly, and others, preferred, which is normal. Maybe he wanted unity and harmony. Preferred you people to be elected unopposed, which is normal because any leader would have loved having to have a conveyance of opinion. That's better. I think even the UDP did that. Some of their executive members, they didn't allow, or they did not actually block, but
no, they did not.
But now it was said that President Barrow interfered to ensure that people like you and Sidi don't face election.
No, I disagree with that.
Look, if you had got election with Suku Singate, you would have lost. That's what people believe.
Well, I don't believe I would have lost.
You were protected by Barrow.
But how many? It's not like protected by Barrow.
Yeah, because he came there personally to ensure that there's no election.
President Barrow acted in the best interest of the party. And this has nothing to do with me alone. There were positions, whether it was me or not, there were positions that he decided not to put to election. And that started from the national president.
But that's not democratic. Is that democratic?
Well, look, party politics and democracy is different.
But party politics should stem from democracy.
Now, UDP had, you call it democracy or term limit, you know what's obtained there. Even when they were selecting their candidates. Was it democratic for even this chairman position?
They said
what obtained in West Point?
We asked the question, what democracy is there if you said your incumbents would be maintained?
Not only the incumbents.
No, that's what they said.
But
they said
in West
incumbent
Coast,
mayor. That's what I'm saying.
Dabo is not incumbent.
Okay, let's
and
say.
They did not subject them to those
perhaps
things.
that is democratic. Of course, there was.
No, there
was a process.
Well, it was
what I had was allegations that the process was bent in favor of Dabo.
Exactly.
I had even disgruntled.
Exactly. And even when they had their Congress, even when they had their Congress, they look,
they said there were a council of elders.
There are different type of congresses. There are elective congresses, and mixed and non-elective. So,
but yours was elective. Yours was supposed to be elective.
We had
delegates were there who were ready to vote between you and Sukusi.
I said there are elective congresses. There are mixed, which are a combination of elective and non-elective, and then there are ones that are non-elective at all. So if the president has chosen to have a list of certain positions not to be elective, that's at his prerogative as party leader, and also act in the best interest of the party.
But many people did not agree with that in the whole.
Not say many people, say some people.
Delegates in the whole did not agree.
No, you can say, of course.
We were seeing them live on television. They did not agree.
Not everybody will always agree to anything. There will always be.
So you, Sidinjai, are not sacred cows of the president. He was not protecting you.
The process, the position that we are not elected started from the national president.
By force.
Yes, and the deputy was not elected, and the second deputy was not elected, and the spokesperson was not elected. Deputy spokesperson, admin secretary.
So yours was not a special case.
It had no specialty in this. So it's just people talking about what they want to talk about.
Let's end by this. President Barrow said on Korite Day, there is no need for people to insult me. You are insulting me because I'm president, or trying to make people hate me. Because Jawara was here, he's gone. Jammeh was here, he's going. I am going. In fact, I have started, building an office where I will run a charity. In fact, the people I've already earmarked people who will work in the board. So I will go. That was clearly interpreted to mean that he doesn't have any more intention to stay in power or in office anymore, longer. Few days ago, at Nyani Kunting, I think it was in Kunting, he said, well, they're going around telling people that, I'm going to get, but what I'm going to do to them in 2016 will be worse.
2026,
Now, in one statement, he's suggesting that he's going. In the other one, he is suggesting that he is going to stay, contest, go for a third term. Which one do we believe?
Well,
which one do we believe?
His Excellency President Adama Barrow is going to be our candidate for 2026 presidential election, and the president 2026 to 2030.
Is that what he said, or that's what your party or you are saying? He said. He never said it directly. What he said.
He said it in Kunting.
What he's going to. But then he said on Korite Day that he was going.
But Mr. Cham, he never said.
No, he didn't put a timeline. No, he didn't put a timeline.
I was there. What he said at Korite is Jawara has gone.
Yes.
He was there. Jammeh was here with all this might. He has gone. And me too, I will go. And I think that is natural and realistic.
He suggested.
Yes.
He did not say a timeline.
Yes, he did.
But he gave a strong indication that is pretty soon. By saying that he has already earmarked the people who are going to work on his board for this charity and already found a place which has been built. He's suggesting that he's going he's going very soon.
You might view it in that line. But for us who want President Barrow to be our candidate,
I'm saying I want you to tell me. You talk to the president.
Yes.
Is it true? Because people are confused as to what he said on Korite and what he said in Nyani Kunte.
Yes.
You talk to him every day.
Yes.
Did he tell you that he is going to contest in 2026?
Yes.
He told you that.
No, I don't want to.
I'm saying
don't make it prolonged. I'm just making it clear to you that His Excellency is going to be the NPP,
according to him,
presidential candidate in 2026. You can quote me.
But you know there are individual choices. You may want Barrow to be the candidate. Okay? No, listen, you may want him.
Okay.
Another man may want him. But he has an individual decision to make. I'm telling you.
And he has made
whether what you have said is true, that's what he said.
Look, he has said it already.
No, he said 2026, but he has said something else. Which one do we believe now? Okay, all right.
Please, I think we are just prolonging this unnecessarily.
No, I'm saying
His Excellency is going to be our presidential candidate in December 2026 presidential election for NPP.
So what do you make of the argument?
Yes.
That itself
is
going against the norms and moral principles that have been enshrined by ECOWAS protocols for people to respect term limits.
Are you governed by principles or you are governed by
President
constitution?
Barrow said he is a fan of term limits.
Yes,
but
he is.
But his problem with people who want to trust him is that he does not want to count his first term as part of that.
Oh, well.
And he manipulated the process allegedly by the opposition.
Well, repeat that word allegedly. Repeat the word because you are alleging.
Allegedly.
Yeah, good.
But it is also very
clear.
It's not clear. No, it's clear because the cabinet position, on the draft constitution, in terms of mandates, the cabinet position said it will be discriminatory against any president.
Any president, not President Barrow. Any president.
But at the time he's the
very important.
But at the time he's the president.
It didn't matter. It would have been discriminatory to anybody.
Yes,
that is what the paper said.
They put it. But he is the president.
Yeah, of course he is the president.
It would have been discriminatory for him.
It would have been discriminatory to any president.
We are talking
okay, yes, it would have been discriminatory to him. Yes.
So the cabinet position on that has been known.
Yes.
Even before it
but that was not only cabinet position. That was the position of the National Assembly. Why are you not putting National Assembly?
No. The cabinet position was known even before it went to Parliament.
No.
So listen.
Okay.
So it's obviously clear that with majority in Parliament.
But that time.
No.
Wait. I want to get this correct. No, he did not.
Who was it?
Who was the majority at the time? It was indeed UDP.
How did the vote went?
Of course, he was defeated. Bottom line.
But he had the majority. One way or the other. Whether
they
are directly elected. No, whether they are directed from NPP.
He did not have. You cannot say he had majority.
How did the vote go?
How
did the vote go?
They were UDP parliamentarians, GDC parliamentarians. No. APRC parliamentarians. No. You cannot associate the failure of the constitution in the National Assembly.
How did the vote go?
Well, the vote of the National Assembly went in the way that they defeated the constitution. But those parliamentarians, they are not NPP parliamentarians or President Barrow parliamentarians.
Most majority of them defected.
Well, if they defected later, that is something else to be discussed.
They were influenced and bought, allegedly, by your party to do the press.
I don't expect a great journalist like you to keep allegedly. You are just alleging almost everything.
I'm telling you because I want you to prove it.
No, but you should be walking.
So you want to tell me? I'm telling you. I'm giving you allegations for you to counter them.
No,
I'm saying, so you said the process in the Parliament was not manipulated by the ruling party.
No.
Listen, so that the constitution can be defeated because Barrow did not want his first term to be counted.
Anyway, let's make this very clear.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with this alleged thing.
But nonetheless, I want you to clear them.
But as a journalist,
but that's what I should give you.
Maybe you as a journalist should have done this groundwork and not be bent on this alleged. But that aside,
these are allegations you have put. It's my duty to put them to you.
But now that aside,
so clarify to me.
I want this to be clear, not to you, but to the entire nation.
That's why we are here.
At the time of voting for this constitution, the National Assembly, majority were UDP parliamentarians. They were not NPP parliamentarians. No, let's get this clear.
My friend, and they don't have majority even there because some of them, the numbers that would have been enough to defeat, they didn't have that because they defected to your party.
Well,
that's what I'm telling you.
No.
They don't have the majority that would have defeated.
How many people defected from? How many parliamentarians defected to NPP?
You see, one thing has to be clear. The majority of people elected on the UDP ticket were more. All right?
Yes.
But I'm telling you, the number required to get the constitution passed, UDP did not get that.
Okay, now, you see,
because,
to determine that number,
some of them defected to your party.
That's why
and then they voted for the interest of your party.
That's fine.
So you
and they are supposed to.
You couldn't say the UDP were in the majority.
Look,
they were not.
The requirements and the criteria and the bar were all set way before President Barrow came to power.
I understand, but he exploited it to his advantage.
No, you cannot say he exploited it. You are just alleging. The majority of the parliamentarians at the time of election were not NPP parliamentarians. The National Assembly decided to do their constitutional role. That is, they decided what they decided, and President Barrow respected their decision. If they threw away the constitution, as fortunate or unfortunate as depending on which view you are looking at, it was their prerogative. That has nothing to do with President Barrow or his government.
Even that is politics.
Well, you can call it politics.
Even that is politics. It's acceptable in politics. You are denying what is a perfect fact. Even if President Barrow went to Parliament, win over all the parliamentarians who are even opposed to him to get his legislation or to get his bid over a legislation, that is allowed as politics. Well, so don't deny that he didn't do that.
No. Well, you don't have any evidence that he did it, and neither did I. So I'm not going to concur with you that President Barrow connived or bribed or convinced parliamentarians to vote against the constitution. I'm not going to agree with you.
Allowed.
Because I'm not saying whether allowed or not.
He didn't do it.
Whether allowed or not allowed.
His minister went to Parliament.
Okay. Which of the ministers?
Justice Minister Dauda.
Yes.
He failed to defend it vigorously, as he used to do with all bills, almost appealing to Parliament. And this time he didn't do that. He was criticized. He came here. I told him to say,
look,
he said he has done his best.
Whether
people said he was reluctant to
Honorable AG, whether he, at your perception,
he came here, I told him
when you said he did not defend it vigorously, that is your own take.
People,
I probably will.
Not only me, people of right-thinking people, right-thinking mind.
Then you see, then you
not
are
only me. I told him this.
The way you are projecting this is as if those who oppose the constitution were not right thinking. Because us, we think Honorable Jallo did his extreme best, defended what needs to be done. He did the needful. And the parliamentarians decided to do what they had to do. And that has nothing to do with the AG or the president or the government. That was the role of parliament, and the parliament did what they had to do, and they did what they did independent of His Excellency the President and the cabinet. So you cannot lay blame about this constitution on the executive or the president. This had something to do with it was drafted, whatever it had, its flaws or its good side, came to National Assembly, it was killed at the National Assembly. As a country, we need to focus on way forward. But debating that constitution and all the flaws and what led to its failure, that had nothing to do with President Barrow. It was a process. And the process had nothing to do with President Barrow. It was a process that was defeated at National Assembly.
It is said that he's still committed to bring it back. Is that the case?
Of course, 3 days ago, the Attorney General was at the National Assembly on the question and answer session on Wednesday. I think everybody saw him. And everybody also heard what he said, that the President, and the President said it in his SONA speech, that he is committed to bringing a constitution.
After really, so no commitment, realistically, to second term, I mean, third terms are generally immorally unpopular throughout West Africa because of the fact that they are seen to be efforts by sitting governments or sitting presidents to elongate their stay. Recently, the ECOWAS court were in Banjo. All the commentators said that it is politicians who use constitutional means to elongate their tenure are equally culpable as soldiers who stage a coup d'etat. Now, with all the international and national goodwill, democratic goodwill that President Barrow has in 2016, one would have expected that he would have been the person who would have really set a very good example by saying, look, I came under a circumstance that really is unique. The desire of the Gambian people is to kill self-perpetuation.
Yes.
I should be number one who should set the example. I have served 2 terms, I am going.
Look,
why is he not, why did he find it difficult?
No, look, I don't understand why you think this is difficult. This is, look, his first 5 years.
He's going for 3 terms.
Look, the first 5 years.
He's going for 3 terms.
Is a
Whether you argue or not, he's going for 3 terms.
Yes, President Barrow is going for you call it a third term.
Yes.
President Barrow.
You call it a second term.
Well, yeah, of course.
So your first one is not his term.
Well, it was a coalition government that he headed for 5 years that you had its own challenges.
I am telling
so
you.
as an NPP government, President Barrow just wrapped up his first, and then 2026 he is going for his 2026. He is going to be our presidential
candidate. So President Barrow has no moral obligation, whether or not it is perceived in many quarters that third terms are unnecessary. He doesn't want to be involved. He doesn't want to be concerned with that.
When you say in many corners, look,
in West Africa. That's the problem Senegal is having. That's the problem Senegal is having.
Well,
that is what happened in Guinea.
Cham.
Now listen, that's what happened to Guinea.
Don't compare the scenario in Gambia and Guinea.
They tamper with constitutions.
But there is no constitution that President Barrow has tampered with.
They rely on legal technicalities.
Okay.
When they could have chosen by principle, all right, to do the right thing.
Look, Mr. Cham, there is nobody in this country who is as democratic or more democratically principled anywhere close to President Barrow.
Yeah, but not on the second terms.
Look, you can call it that way. President Barrow has not violated any part of our constitution. Wait. He did not. No, in places like Guinea or other places, they try to change a section of the constitution. No, give me space to finish this, because this is very important for our viewers. President Barrow did not attempt to change any section of the constitution. Unlike those places you are quoting, they tried to change sections of the constitution. The constitution was here in 1997, and majority of the Gambians, including you probably, voted for that constitution. And that is the same constitution. He has not amended anything in that constitution to empower him.
He had the moral authority.
Look,
as he promised, he had the moral. He had the influence. He had the moral authority, as he promised to change that constitution.
Yes.
With a new one.
And he did.
No, with a new one. Listen,
no, he did.
With a new one.
Yes.
But because his term would have been affected, he manipulated it.
I will completely disagree with you, because President Barrow promised.
Disagree, but
no.
But Gambians of right-thinking people disagree with him.
His Excellency President Barrow, when he came to power, he made good on his promise to bring a good constitution.
Perfect.
And he did that. He formed the Constitution Commission
and
spent hundreds of millions.
116 million wasted. Just because the term limit is discriminatory.
It's not wasted by His Excellency or his government. It went through a process that was approved by the Gambian people.
You will say that, but I want to tell President Barrow, as an independent observer, that many right-thinking Gambians who are not UDP, who are not Mama Kande,
who think that they should be the ones to dictate how things are run.
Who are not UDP or Mama Kande, all right?
Yes.
Think that in our situation, the best example, way forward for the Gambia, was for our president to serve 2 terms and set a precedence that will be emulated by everybody else.
And then step down and give it to opposition leaders who have not agreed. No, wait.
It was not
opposition leaders who have not agreed to step down as opposition leaders for nearly 30 years. That is the foundation.
No, the issue as to who will be elected in 2016 if he goes, you are saying is the opposition.
Let's make this very clear.
The opposition who will win.
Hell no. Opposition is not anywhere near
winning. Who's going to win in 2016? You are saying that he will not give it opposition. Do you know who's going to win in 2016 when he doesn't?
President Barrow is going to win the 2026 election.
You said he will not.
He is going, so we don't need to be retrospective or thinking in hindsight. President Barrow is going to be the candidate in 2026, and he's going to win hands down. And then the crybabies can continue their crybaby.
Fantastic. That's your opinion.
Yes.
I'm telling you, a lot of Gambians would have taught him to step down. Not because they want to replace him, but because they are not connected with who becomes president. They just want a system where governments will be changed and people will not perpetrate themselves in power.
A system is dictated by constitution. A system is not dictated by you sitting here and telling me.
That constitution is manipulated by people who are in the system.
Well, the constitution was not
everywhere in West Africa.
The constitution was not made by President Barrow or his government, and he did not.
President Macky Sall is in trouble. I think we should have learned from Senegal.
Well, President
Macky Sall is in trouble with his people.
Well, you can call it trouble.
Principally because he wants to elongate power. I think Barrow should have learned that. Look, you know what? As close as Senegal, They are in problems about this third time.
Look, what happened in Senegal it didn't start with any constitutional issue. It was a rape case that went to court.
No. I'm not talking about Sonko. I'm talking about Sal suspected to be going for a third term. That's the issue there.
Well, you call it an issue. What is happening in Senegal?
You didn't see forget about Sonko.
No. The demonstrations that are happening.
No. There have been demonstrations calling for no third term. That's different from Sonko.
Look, how many people you see?
That's what I'm saying.
Look, Senegal has a population of nearly 20 million. How many people you saw there and you consider in the majority said? Majority will only be determined at the polls. Okay? And we are not going to be ruled or be dictated by, the opinion. The constitution is here to dictate how we live.
I'm saying that when we see situation, we are Gambia.
Yes.
We take ourselves, concern ourselves, all right? Yeah. Pride ourselves for being different. We had a lot of international goodwill.
We still do.
No, listen. Because of the fact that we took on somebody who perpetuated himself here for 22 years, shut down all the freedoms and liberties of the citizens, using the constitution, butchering it to suit his unquenchable desire to stay in power. We came with a man we believe will be our Messiah, our Savior who will take out all those legal bottlenecks and clear the way for a just, peaceful system.
Now let me come in here.
If he is now saying he's going to perpetuate himself in power by relying on the constitution that Jammeh relied on to stay here for as long as he wishes, the people in the Gambia who actually are not politically biased, but they are really thinking for the good, for the future of the country, are saying he does not need it. Is his duty now, is his right now, and people like you, to continue?
Well, let me make this very clear.
But this point has to be clear.
Yes, and to clear this,
you go ahead.
His Excellency is not attempting to change any part of the constitution.
He's relying on the bad constitution.
He is relying on a constitution
he
that
changed it.
He tried to change it.
He never.
He formed the constitution committee. No, Mr. Cham. Genuinely,
let's go.
I want you to agree that
let's move on now.
No, we cannot move on without clearing this. He formed the constitution committee to change the constitution. And that is what he can do as the president. And they submitted a constitution to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly rejected it. And you still sit here and say he did not try to change the constitution. How can you do that? He did.
That is what everybody who is not
Demba Sabally,
who is not NPP think.
No. That is what the
Demba Sabally and NPP who thinks that he has not done anything.
This is not about what I think. This is obvious. This is right there on everybody's face. What he did.
Okay. To end now, what do you think will be the future of the NPP? Now that you said Barrow is going to be your candidate.
Yes.
All right. And now you have lost maybe half of the country in terms of local representation. Many people interpret this to be, the beginning of the end of your party in terms of electoral gains. I know you will disagree. So what do you think the future of NPP looks like? Bright or, as your opponents say, doomed?
Well, 100% NPP future is extremely bright. It's a party that is building its structures. It's a new party. The structures are maturing. Of course, that comes along with its challenges, like a few that you have mentioned earlier. But let me assure you that the majority, the silent majority, not the few loud ones, the silent majority of the Gambians know what His Excellency is doing. And they know the alternative, because people want to have a peaceful mind. People want to feel safe. And the reason why people voted for President Barrow in 2021 are many, but two among them, principally, is he is extremely peaceful. One. Two, he is working extremely hard. He has expanded the infrastructure in terms of health, in terms of roads, and he has also, he's highly respected in the international community. And all these factors put together, the alternative is a government of, whether it's UDP or not, or whatever, as an alternative, because they are the biggest opposition, is going to be a government that is, for now, even in government, they are violent. Even in government, they are abusing people. in opposition. They are violent. They are abusing people. So the alternative to President Barrow is very bleak. The alternative to President Barrow is very insecure. And the alternative to President Barrow is chaos. So this population is not going to exchange President Barrow to that scenario. So the majority, the silent majority of this country in 2026 will come out and vote for His Excellency President Barrow, and then the country will move on to be in peace and be developed. But be rest assured that President Barrow will be our candidate, and we are a united party, and we have a very bright future.
So said Demba Sabally, the second national president of the governing National People's Party and Minister of Agriculture. Thank you very much for being on the brunch. We commend you because obviously, like I said, I always encourage senior members of your party to come to the media and not shun the media, because I have always said there are over 18 political groups, individual or parties, in the Gambia, and all of these, majority of them are, of course, in the opposition. It's only the NPP that's in government.
Right.
Now, if all these 17 groups come with a statement, the likelihood that they are going to criticize the NPP.
Right.
18 voices criticizing one person, you need to work very hard to counter those. And one way of doing it is to make yourself available to face challenges, to tackle clear misconceptions, to clarify positions, and not leave them to be muddied. And that's what you have done. So I want to commend you tremendously for coming here and encouraging you and your colleagues for them to follow your example. Thank you very much for being on the brunch.
Thank you, Mr. Cham.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our followers.
We will be back next week. Until then, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
What are you finding on? Can't go on there. Could you man in the afternoon? You could have wanted there. So it's a fine one. Okay.
ay kodo kenya nan nato kodo kamaja je sa maja sinna fo en kodi furi hey nga kodo bala kata falina bari kodo akoy damale be je ni may sama no ngatu je atata falina
Assalamu alaikum. Baru kota nyinyi kodo ta janda yo ni bari kodo mambe nyanta kodi kendo rendila nyen kodo mo beta jibe kodo fangu jibe jol jibe be faram
fayla
injibe yaje mo beta ya iba falin nale central bank ye memfo inal toliye yal safi ye memfali ali yalon iko clean note policy kodi kendo al kalmol jowala yin kodi furingo kodi fundo alka mol sigal ka o sigal ka di mol amam betea ibe nyi mudalal e kodi kendo di ni wote memba kunna tole te ala bita central bank andu memba kunna tole e kana van dole ta de bole so janno bebe ta raje kodo mudaya
amune be tawolantele yalon ko e nyanta kodi kendo di la
ñina mu siloti men ñanta kake alkali al luwaye men fo alkali marawna ko di kendo alkali waldi mol alyama
In a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us, Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, Takaful Fund, management of Zakat, management of Awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.